Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Please take your seats and we can begin the program. We're very fortunate. We have a beautiful day, a lot of beautiful people, and a great event. I'm Michael Friedlander. I'm Virginia Tech's Vice President for Health Sciences. I'm also the Director of the Fralin Biomedical Research Institute at VTC, and I am honored and jazzed to be your host for this celebration today. I'd like to start by thanking the leadership of Virginia Tech, Carilion Clinic, and the Commonwealth of Virginia. These men and women are the visionaries who saw this place and imagined its potential for greatness and to change the future of this region. They were joined over the ensuing years by many others, including those in elected and appointed leadership positions throughout the state, local, and federal levels, as well as many community members here who embraced the dream of creating a new type of health sciences and technology hub. And they provided critical resources and support to launch Virginia Tech and Carilion Clinic to the next century science, medicine, and a new economy. Thank you all very much to all those leaders. One such visionary is in the audience today, Mr. Haywood Fralin. Haywood is a champion of Roanoke and the Commonwealth of Virginia. I'd like to thank him and the Fralin family for their confidence and investment in the biomedical research enterprise here and in the Roanoke community, as well as all of the donors who have supported us and made this bold vision possible. Thank you very much to all of you. Dr. William Osler, hospital physician-in-chief of the Johns Hopkins University and architect of America's first modern medical training program at the new medical school there, once said, "The future belongs to science. More and more, she will control the destinies of the nations. Already, she has them in her crucible and on her balances." Today's ribbon cutting is a critical step towards those destinies as we prepare to open the new Fralin Biomedical Research Institute at VTC Addition. We would not be here entering the second decade of discovery without the support of all those leaders and visionaries who have stayed the course to birth and nurture this enterprise. The last year and a half has been hard for all of us, with many unspeakable losses. It hit us like a bucket of ice water as a wake-up call from nature. We humans are an important part, but only a part, of this living world we call Earth. On behalf of all citizens of the Commonwealth, of our nation, and of the world, including those who came before us, those here today, and those who will come after us, we are obligated to explore, understand, and care for our world, including the health of all people and the planet. As part of that obligation, in addition to providing outstanding health care with the contemporary tools of today's medicine, we must not be satisfied, but continue to push the boundaries of our understanding using all of our talents and resources. Today is an important step to contribute to that sacred obligation. We are here to celebrate and officially open the newest part of the enterprise known as the Health Sciences and Technology Campus at the heart of the academic health center that is Virginia Tech Carilion. This new addition to the Fralin Biomedical Research Institute at VTC is much more than just a building, although it's a great building. But speaking of which, I would like to thank Skanska USA Building Company, which entered our building in a design contest in the University Research Building category and won. I'd also like to thank AECOM, which has been a lead architect and planner for this new building and most of this campus for many years. But this building and its contents represent an opportunity to bring together some of the most creative thinkers, visionaries of the possible, and technological innovations to not only develop new ways to prevent, diagnose, and treat today's known diseases in humans and animals, but also to predict and prepare for the unexpected. If nothing else, we have certainly relearned that lesson the past 2 years. This next step builds on an already highly successful first decade of the Research Institute and all of the faculty, staff, and students who work here who have already made many important contributions. Precisely identifying changes in brain function and major psychiatric disorders, rehabilitating children who have suffered strokes, understanding and treating substance abuse and addiction, developing new resuscitation methods to rescue those who have succumbed to sudden cardiac arrest, treating brain cancer in children, adults, and in our pets, helping veterans and others who have suffered traumatic brain injuries and post-traumatic stress disorder in service to our nation, developing new approaches to treat wounds and ischemic heart disease, and developing a reliable, accurate, rapid testing program for COVID-19 to serve the entire region. Over 500 people, including faculty, staff, and students, contributed to these achievements so far, and at least another 500 will become part of the growing research enterprise in the coming years. I am certain that even beyond the time frame of the careers and lives of those of us who have the privilege of serving in this enterprise today, what you have all built here will continue to provide life-changing advances in the service of health and be a catalyst for the economic vitality for this region for decades to come. There is so much more to talk about, but as my wife Sandra often tells me, okay, enough, you've made your point. So at this point now, I would like to introduce the 16th president of Virginia Tech, Tim Sands, who joined the university in 2014. Dr. Sands is a professor at College of Engineering. He set the university on a course to become a leading global land-grant institution aligned with needs and opportunities created by a rapidly changing world. He's embraced the health sciences and technology campus wholeheartedly and continued to make the path to excellence and success a clear one. Tim, would you please come forward?
Well, thank you, Mike, and for your transformational leadership over the last 11 years. Did you say you were jazzed? Is that what you said? You should be. And we're jazzed for you, and we're jazzed for Roanoke and Virginia Tech and our partners, Carilion Clinic. It's been a wonderful decade. We've talked about, for more than a decade, about the emerging health science and technology campus here in Roanoke. As we officially open this second building at the Fralin Biomedical Research Institute at VTC, and we look at what's developing around us, we're no longer emerging. Thanks to all of you, we're here and we're ready for what's coming next. Thank you all. I want to thank everyone for being part of this partnership, a public-private partnership that is a model for what we can accomplish when we work together. I especially want to express my appreciation for those visionary individuals, past and present, at Virginia Tech, Carilion Clinic, and the City of Roanoke, along with government and community leaders throughout the region. You believed in this vision and had the determination and the will to make it possible. Many of these local leaders are with us this afternoon, including representatives of the City of Roanoke, Roanoke County, Botetourt County, and Montgomery County. Thank you for your continued partnership and support as we continue to build upon our regional impact here at the Research Institute. We are here today thanks to our partners in the Governor's Office and the Virginia Legislature, who saw the value of the vision for the Roanoke Valley, Southwest Virginia, and the Commonwealth. We are honored to have the Speaker of the Virginia House of Delegates, Eileen Fillercorn, and we'll be hearing from her in a bit. Also joining us are Senators John Edwards, David Suderline, and Travis Hackworth, and delegates Terry Austin, Chris Hurst, and Joe McNamara. Thank you. Congressman Morgan Griffith and Ben Klein were planning to be here but had to return to Washington to take care of some business, but they're here in spirit. And I would also like to acknowledge the district representatives for Senators Mark Warner and Tim Kaine, who are celebrating here with us today. Their recognition of the value of federally sponsored research is critical to our ability to make meaningful scientific, health, and community impacts locally and also around the world. It would be hard to overstate how important this initiative is to Virginia Tech, to our strategic vision to be one of the world's leading public universities in the nation and in the world. As the past several months have demonstrated, the nexus of health, science, and technology is a place where humanity confronts the challenges of the future. This is where we develop the resilience, the tools, and the innovation to thrive and succeed. This is where we attract leading talent from around the globe and develop the next generation of leaders who will take this vision even further. And we're not just attracting and developing talented people, we're giving them a reason to stay here in Roanoke and in the Commonwealth, so their discoveries and ideas can grow right here at home. This is where we create opportunity for our region as the ideas spin off into companies, investments, and jobs. That's the vision Haywood Fralin had for Roanoke, and his generosity is helping make it happen. So another thanks to Haywood. The foundation of Virginia Tech's aspirational vision is impact, doing things that make a difference regionally, nationally, and globally. This campus is a vital part of who we are and what we aspire to be. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce one of those visionary leaders and valued partners that I referenced earlier. Please give a warm welcome to the President and CEO of Carilion Clinic, Nancy Agee.
Thank you, Tim. And thanks to all of you all for being here. I have to talk about that jazz word, too. You know, my 2-year-old grandson and I listen to French jazz on Sunday afternoons while we cook dinner, and that's going to make Sunday afternoons even more memorable now, Mike. Well, you know, when we gathered here just 4 short years ago, this site right here was a parking lot. Today, we celebrate the opening of yet another state-of-the-art building on our Health Sciences and Technology campus, a building that's just as advanced as the researchers and clinicians that work in it. This kind of progress is pretty spectacular, especially considering that the past 2 years were dominated by COVID-19. I hope you agree, today was worth the wait. You know, we are indeed fortunate to partner with Virginia Tech, one of the nation's top research universities. And Virginia Tech's growing commitment to biomedical research in our region makes Carilion and Virginia Tech perfect partners. Collaboration is one of Carilion's core values, and with Virginia Tech, we've been able to do together what neither of us could do alone: push the bounds of medical knowledge to improve care for patients here and everywhere. Our partnership includes those of you who share that vision and have supported it through your compassion and your generosity. I'd like to especially thank our state policymakers for their support. You recognize the important role the Roanoke region plays in Virginia's economy, and as this project demonstrates, the important role of higher education and healthcare in our region's economy. One of my favorite proverbs describes collaboration like this: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Well, we're going far and fast. Just look at what we've accomplished. One of the country's top medical schools that's already helping to meet the pressing need for physicians. A well-funded research institute with growing research physician collaborations. A magnet for attracting top talent. And a growing health sciences and technology campus whose continued success we celebrate today. At the same time, we're transforming our region's economy and putting Roanoke on the map as a hub for biosciences. I'm incredibly excited to be able to share this moment with you in person, almost without a mask, and look forward to many more as together Virginia Tech and Carilion find new ways to shape our future. Thank you.
Okay, well, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome I'll take this off, sorry. My distinct pleasure to welcome the Vice Mayor of Roanoke, Patricia White Boyd. Originally, Mayor Sherman Lee was supposed to be here but couldn't make it. But I want to say on behalf of everybody at the Fralin Biomedical Research Institute and VTC, the partnership with the leadership of this city, the mayor's office, and the mayor and vice mayor has been an essential part of the success of what's happening here, and we are deeply honored that the vice mayor has been able to come out and say a few words to us. So, welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. What a beautiful day it is. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better day. This has really been a beautiful day. Some of you may or may not know that the mayor's wife passed away on October 2nd, and her funeral was this past Saturday. And Mayor Lee really wanted to be here. He was coming every day. I'm coming, up until last night, and he decided he was not able to do it. That's how important this was for him. And so I would just ask that you all continue to lift Mayor Lee and his family up in prayer, because certainly the days, weeks, and months ahead are probably the most difficult. So I would just ask that you would continue to pray for him and his family. But I am certainly delighted to be here along with my colleagues, and I'll take just a moment just to recognize I saw Mr. Cobb over here, and Miss Sanchez Jones, and Miss Moon Reynolds, and the glue that holds it together, our city manager, Mr. Bob Cowell. Thank you all for being here to support me. This is truly very exciting. I cannot tell you how excited I am about this new impressive facility here in Roanoke. It is truly a remarkable place, and how it has transformed in the past decade. You know, like Miss Agee said, that was a parking lot, and now look at this facility. Now, I didn't get a chance to tour it, but I certainly am planning on touring it. But now we have the Virginia Tech Carilion Health Science and Technology Campus, which is a driving force in our growing biotech and healthcare community. And I understand it generates, or will generate, over $500,000 for our city, not to mention those good, well-paying jobs that I'm excited about. That is truly going to be an asset to this community, and I am looking forward to all of the work that's going to be done here. And I'm really impressed by, we'll let them have their moment. I'm really impressed by Virginia Tech's investment in our community, and certainly for Mike's vision about the biomedical research, and that the scientists here are working and what they're doing. I am certainly, as I know you are, encouraged by this bold vision. Can you just imagine someone with heart disease or brain disorder, or even they said addiction? Can you imagine what bright future that will be? And all of this work is being done right here in Roanoke City. And we're really excited about that. I mean, you cannot imagine the work and the progress that's being done here in this research center. And it's happening right here, and I have to do this for Mayor Lee. This Star City of the South, this 7-time All-America City, right? That one was for Mayor Lee, because if he were here, he would say it more than once. But yes, we are a 7-time All-America City. And look what we have here. Virginia Tech Carilion, who is growing and thriving and doing some really wonderful things here. So I am happy to be here in this moment in time. And certainly as a part of history, this is actually history. So thank you again. I appreciate it, and we look forward to continuing to work with you.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Vice Mayor. Appreciate your comments and your support very much. Our next speaker actually holds the title of Speaker. That is the Speaker of the Virginia House of Delegates. Eileen Filler-Corn is the first woman in the 400-year history of Virginia's legislature to hold this position. She rose to this role after representing the 41st House District for only a decade, making her the fastest person ascending to this post. Speaker Filler-Corn's passion is to make the Commonwealth of Virginia a better place to live, work, and raise a family. She has overseen the House of Delegates during the COVID-19 health crisis, passing critical legislation to ensure widespread vaccinations, curb the spread of the virus, and fortify both public health and mental health programs throughout the Commonwealth. It is thus my great pleasure to introduce Virginia's Speaker of the House of Delegates, the Honorable Eileen Filler-Corn. Please join me in welcoming her.
Good afternoon, everybody. What truly is a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you so much, Michael Freelander. I really appreciate that kind introduction, but also thank you for hosting this event alongside of President Tim Sands and Nancy Agee. It's my honor to be here with you all today. Congratulations on such success, the remarkable success of the Fralin Biomedical Research Institute. All the hard work, time, energy, and effort that you have put in as its executive director has shown that it's paid off just in one single day. President Sands, your vision and dedication to the success of your students has transformed Virginia Tech to the top modern university that is keeping the Commonwealth on the leading edge. And I want to congratulate you today on breaking new ground in the university's new innovation campus in Northern Virginia just last month as well. This exciting collaboration with Amazon will expand the already booming tech sector and keep Virginia moving forward towards the future. And Nancy Agee, somebody who cares so deeply about the region, about the economy and workforce development, it is always truly an honor to be here with you, and look what you're doing, keeping Carilion Clinic in Southwest Virginia moving forward. So many Virginians have truly benefited as a result of your passion for healthcare, especially during these challenging times, COVID-19 and the pandemic. I cannot express enough to you the gratitude for the work that you have done and that you all continue to do as we try to keep Virginia healthy. I would be remiss if I did not give a shout out to my friend, Haywood Fralin. This is his family's namesake, after all. Haywood has always done so much in his power, everything in his power, to serve the community, to further higher ed. Between serving as the chair of the State Council of Higher Education of Virginia and working to keep college tuition affordable, he is a champion for students, he is a champion for higher ed, he is a champion for universities all across the Commonwealth. I am so thrilled to be joining him as well for this significant occasion. I want to mention how pleased I am to be here with the Vice Mayor, and I am sorry cannot be here with the Mayor today, but think about those that are truly stalwarts in this community. And for years and years, I know the Mayor has done so much to support the people of Roanoke, and it's an honor and a privilege to be with you here, Vice Mayor. It's an honor for me to be with you all to celebrate the grand opening of this new addition to Virginia Tech, the Fralin Institute's second building in only 11 years. What an accomplishment. And I'd like to say, Mike, I too am kind of jazzed. On behalf of the Commonwealth of Virginia, I want to express how grateful I am to the incredible scientists and all that have contributed to the research that has already done so much to impact Virginians, to impact the health of Virginians during such challenging times for mental health. As we know, this pandemic has been extremely challenging for our country, for all of us. It has thrown into stark relief of the dire need for widespread access to mental health. That is why earlier this year, the General Assembly mandated insurance coverage for mental health and substance abuse services. That has been a priority for us in the House of Delegates, to ensure that Virginians are receiving the treatment they need as they cope through challenging times. as they deal with drastic changes that we all have faced over the past year and a half. Just 2 months ago, in August, the General Assembly met for a special session to allocate COVID-19 funding relief from the Federal American Rescue Plan to the areas throughout the Commonwealth who need it the most. We invested $111 million to higher ed, $238 million in mental health and substance abuse programs, because we realize just how crucial these services are to ensuring that the Commonwealth is on a path to recovery. I know I'm preaching here to the choir. The Fralin Institute's innovations in the development and implementation of addiction treatment has been critical as we have navigated this public health crisis, especially with the focus on opiates, which have hurt so many families across the entire nation, not just the Commonwealth, but particularly here in Southwest Virginia. Even prior to the coronavirus outbreak, all of Virginia's techs' amazing work to advance our medical system and train the next generation of doctors and scientists as they enter the workforce contributed immensely to Virginia's economic success. That is something we are immensely proud of. And as we begin to emerge from this pandemic, Virginia Tech is helping us build better, stronger, and a stronger Commonwealth than we've had ever before. Higher education programs like Virginia Tech's are a key why our Commonwealth has earned the record-breaking designation, back-to-back titles, as CNBC's best state for business, again this year, the only state in the entire country to receive back-to-back titles. Qualified, college-educated workers are essential to businesses and to a thriving economy, and Virginia Tech has played an important role in contributing to our strong workforce. Additionally, Virginia is best suited for businesses to come plant their flags. Why? Because of our healthcare system and resources to combat COVID-19. Our resources that we have expended to combat COVID-19 has outmatched any other states all across the country, and thanks in tremendous part to your efforts here at Virginia Tech. The Fralin Biomedical Research Institute is such an important piece of our Commonwealth, from educating our healthcare leaders of tomorrow to making remarkable contributions to the medical community. I know that this new edition of this university will only take us to greater heights as a Commonwealth. So once again, it's an honor for me to be here with you today, and I wanted to say congratulations to all of you from Virginia Tech to the Fralin Institute and to everyone in this room to say thank you to this new edition and for all that you have done and will continue to do to ensure that we move our Commonwealth's medical system forward. I cannot wait to see the extraordinary accomplishments that continue to emerge from this program and continue to make Virginia a better place to live, work, and lead a healthy life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Appreciate your comments very much. Our next speaker is one of the young rising biomedical research stars of Virginia Tech's Translational Biology, Medicine, and Health PhD program. When she's not working in the lab, she is deeply involved in the community, including co-hosting the Big Lick of Science podcast, sharing her passion for science and discovery with the entire community. Please join me in welcoming Rajna Samaya to the podium. Rajna.
Can everyone hear me okay? Hi everyone. As Dr. Freelander said, my name is Rajna Samaya and I am a graduate student at Fralin Biomedical Research Institute in Dr. Michael Fox's lab. As a PhD student, I study how circuits in the brain form and I answer fundamental questions in the field of neuroscience. When I talk about my research in the community, there's one question that I frequently get, and it is, what does this basic science mean to me, and why is this important? And it's totally a fair question, I get it. And I tell them to compare their brain to their car. So if your car is broken and if you need to fix it properly, you have to know how the car was built in the first place, right? I hope you all said right. And I feel grateful. That's exactly the same concept here. And I feel grateful to be a scientist who's studying the stunning complexity of the brain. And it's because my parents who live in India never had the opportunity to attend college. As a first-generation student, I did not know any scientists growing up. I honestly did not even know what research meant. So when I first started my graduate school year, I questioned my ability to succeed. And trust me, I really questioned it. But in spite of all that, here I am, 4 years later, very close to finishing my PhD. I don't want to jinx it, but I think it will happen next semester. And it's because this institute gave me a chance with quality education and, more importantly, a welcoming environment to conduct extraordinary scientific research. So there is one thing that I absolutely love about this institute, and it's that every person who works here has this desire to constantly improve the quality of education and research at this campus. And what I like about this is that most of the time that has meant involving students in important conversations and asking for their input. And it's because of these well-rounded academic experiences that I have had here at this institute, I think I am well prepared to pursue a postdoctoral position as a next step in my career. And just maybe one day I will become an academic nerdy professor who has her own lab and studies how the brain forms and what makes us human. So why am I excited for this new building? What does this mean to me? So this new building that's opening with the state-of-the-art facilities to do all sorts of biomedical research you can possibly imagine. And this can be in any field: neuroscience, cardiovascular sciences, infectious diseases, cancer, just anything. Adds so much for opportunities for students like myself to pursue their scientific goal. And I am so excited for them. And just to brag about my friends a little bit who are watching this on live stream, the graduate students here are pretty successful. Many of them have gotten this prestigious NIH fellowships, have won big travel awards, oral presentation awards at national and international conferences. You name it, at least one graduate student has it here. But with the addition of this new building, this place will become this wonderful magnet to continue to attract more bright students from all over the world and keep this success going. So I am so thrilled to be celebrating with you all the grand opening of this new building and start of something really exciting right here in Roanoke, Virginia. So thank you to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajna. You just heard from the future of biomedical discovery. We're in good hands, I guarantee you. So the last formal speech is going to be by video. And so we are very honored on this occasion to have a video appearance by Dr. Walter Koroshetz, the director of the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke of the National Institutes of Health. Dr. Koroshetz, a leader in the NIH Blueprint for Neuroscience Research and the NIH's Brain Initiative, which is short for Brain Research through Advancing Innovative Neurotechnologies. He wanted to be here in person today, but due to NIH travel restrictions was not able to do so. However, I am extremely pleased and grateful that he took the time to make this video for us. So if I can direct your attention to monitors, various places, I think we will get started.
Hello, I'm Dr. Walter Koroshetz, the Director of the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke at the National Institutes of Health. I want to thank Dr. Michael Friedlander for inviting me to speak to you today on the occasion of this ribbon cutting for the Fralin Biomedical Research Institute at Virginia Tech Carilion. It's an important day for everyone in the Commonwealth of Virginia, but it's also an important day for NIH because NIH, as a funder of research around the country, is always totally dependent upon research institutes and the work that they do, both in training new people and in advancing the science of the different missions of NIH. And there are 27 different institutes and centers at NIH, each with their own missions. The overall NIH mission is to seek fundamental knowledge about the nature of the body and to enhance health and lengthen life and reduce illness and disability. As I said, 90% of the taxpayers' investment of NIH goes out to research institutions around the country. NINDS has as its mission to understand how the nervous system works and to use that knowledge to reduce the burden of illness due to neurological disorders and stroke. And I can say that the tragedy of neurological disorders is quite dramatic. They take a huge toll on the people who suffer with them, their caregivers, and because of the enormous numbers, especially as our population ages, it puts a great strain on our country's health. So what do we need to solve these problems? Well, we need you. And what do we need you to do? Well, I would say there are three major bundles. One is to foster an environment where there can be discoveries, important discoveries. This intellectual environment is so important to put together so that it's full of curiosity, that there's a constant flow of ideas, where everyone is included in the mix of thinking. Sometimes everyone knows that sometimes the real change occurs from an idea that a student just brings up out of the blue, asks a question that you start to give an answer to, and then you realize, I don't know the answer to this question. It's a good question though, and that's what really gets science going. And that's the part of the beauty of science is its social interactions with people's minds and their thoughts. And but the next step is experimentation. So lots of ideas flowing around. I certainly have been called the dreamer by many. But the question is, what really holds water? What is backed up by the truth? And truth in science comes from meticulously collected data. And the art of doing that is passed on in an apprenticeship model. So the future depends on the mentors we have now and instilling in their trainees and in everybody in their lab, what is the right way to do science? What is the most rigorous experimental design and analysis that you can put together to test an idea? That's easy said. A lot of people would just like to have their ideas, published and backed up, even though may not be right. That's not what science needs. We need real rigor in data analysis and design. And at NINDS, actually, we're setting up programs to build educational resources to help people really burrow down on how to do rigorous science. And so look forward to that. We have champions of rigor that we're trying to bring together at different institutions to be kind of the champion in their place to ensure the highest quality research is done. And clearly from the taxpayer's point of view, that's pretty important that taxpayers' money goes only to the highest quality research. Then in the biomedical space, the other area is integrating the basic science, the engineering, and the clinical science into translational research. And clearly that is where, the hardest lessons are learned, because at the end of the line, for me, looking at our portfolio, the end of the line is, are these ideas and do they lead to an intervention or a therapy or some knowledge that's going to reduce the burden of disease? And, people have lots of ideas. They progress through these stages. We actually test them in people. And then then you really know if things held together or not, and how many assumptions you made that you have to go back and correct if things don't work out. And more than likely, they don't work out. The process of moving from what we know about the body and the brain, for instance, actually make a difference. There's so much ignorance that we need to fill in the gaps that makes our attempts, very risky to move into translation. But that's the beauty of being in this game, that you can test it in this final test of Does it help patients? But to do that, you really need to integrate the basic sciences, clinical sciences, and the engineering comes in between. And so I think one of the beauties of Fralin is it's embedded in this research-intensive medical school, and it's connected to heavily engineering Virginia Tech, and that gives us some real advantages. In addition, I would say that Fralin can contribute to what our biggest workforce shortage is in biomedicine is the lack of physician scientists. The number, by our measure of career awards, has not increased in 50, 60 years. So it's a real bottleneck. So a research institution in a medical school also can help a lot there. And that's really what's critical for translation. You really have to know the diseases to be able to move in that direction. And it's really the physician scientist that can help do that. But the other advantage of the engineering is that engineering is producing tools. Tools to do research are so much more powerful now. And I think the lesson that we learned, for instance, in the BRAIN Initiative, comes from a Freeman Dyson quote that new directions in science are launched by new tools much more often than by new concepts. The effect of a concept revolution is to explain old things in new ways. The effect of a tool-driven revolution is to discover new things that have yet to be explained. Where these tools come from, they come from physics and chemistry, they go through engineering, and then they come into biomedicine. So again, really important that this is being done here at Fralin. In terms of the neuroscience, the BRAIN Initiative is really called Brain Research through Advancing Innovative Neurotechnologies, and it's led to tremendous number of advances, and it's just beginning. So just take a look at the recent Nature paper, 27 papers from the Brain Cell Census Project in 3 different species, looking at the motor cortex, the different cell types, their physiological properties, how they're connected, comparing across different species, and giving us genetic access to monitor and modulate these cells in a very cell-specific manner. These tools, these new tools for the brain, allow us to approach circuit disorders in a way we could never have imagined 5 years ago. So it's a great example of how the melding of engineering with neuroscience, biology, has led to tremendous advance. The next step, which is our bigger problem now, is to actually integrate computational science, because the tools, whether in neuroscience or molecular science, are generating tremendous amounts of data. This is real data. It means something, but there's so much of it, it's hard to know what it means. It's a dynamic system, and this is really in the space of mathematicians to actually understand the patterns and the rules, bring them back to the experimentalists to test those ideas about patterns and rules, to know if they're causally related or associatively related to a certain outcome. And that, I think, is the other area where I think Fralin should think about bringing in computational folks from, particularly in the environment that you have here at Virginia Tech. So I certainly commend the Fralin Biomedical Institute and congratulate you on the ribbon cutting, and commend you for your commitment to all the work you're doing in basic translational and clinical science, and particularly the emphasis on the generosity and the mentorship you bring to young people coming into the field, and making sure that there's an environment where everyone is welcome and feeling included. So thanks very much and congratulations, and look forward to reading your grants. Bye now.
Don't worry, Walter, the grants are going out the door right now, I guarantee you. Well, that's all the speakers for today. I want to thank everybody for attending and sharing this moment and this joyous day with us. Thank you for your precious time. I want to thank the amazing staff who worked for about 2 years on putting this on, including two attempts that didn't quite come off. They've done an incredible job, and I'm just very, very grateful to all the work they've done and all the staff here. And I want to invite everybody to come up. We're going to have the official ribbon cutting somewhere over here. You can all come over this direction and watch the ribbon cutting. There'll be additional tours and refreshments served. So thanks again to everybody for being part of this great day with us. We appreciate it. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, the building is now officially open. For those of you who would like to take tours, feel free to come up. We have a few guides. Also, there are refreshments for you to gather. Come up on the sidewalk area or into the very large atrium of the lobby. Welcome.